Hey guys, welcome to Retropiece Theatre, streaming on the GNN Gaming Network. Retro here. We are going to play some Xenogears, and it's good to see everybody. I hope everybody's having a great start to your week, and hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Real quick before we get going, if you aren't familiar with Geek News Now and who GNN is, you should head on over to geeknewsnow.net and check us on out. Go ahead and check out all of our articles and see what we got going on. And I'm going to adjust my lighting here just a bit before we get going. There we go. I'm going to turn that down just a bit. Oh, all right. Xenogears. And wherever you're coming in from, whenever you're watching it, whether now or in the future, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the stream. If you do come in on any one of those streams, be sure to say hello in your chat, and I will see it on my screen and be able to say hello. All right. We're going to jump right into the game here. Which one was I using? Oh, it was this one. Yeah. Wow, we put 10.5 hours into this game already, ladies and gentlemen. Only like 80 more to go. Alright, let's see, what were we doing here? Yes. I vaguely remember we need to talk to our friend here, I believe. No? No? Not talking to me? There we go.
I had no idea Sig had such a past.
Oh yeah, still doing these voices. Are you still suspicious of Sigard?
Well, I mean, it was just so sudden. I kind of expected to hear something different. Like that we were childhood rivals or something. But that's nothing compared to the story he just told us, is it?
So hearing his story has you confused because it was not so simple. There was a time when he was cooperating with one of Gebler's generals. Oh yeah, we just learned that Satan and Sig are well, not from around here. Belong to what we would consider the enemy. Furthermore, behind Gebler was a country that you had never even heard of.
Hey, what are you picking on me for?
Hi, Randy. Thank you for loving the voices in the chat. And Wolf Angel has joined. Hi, Wolf Angel. No, I am not picking on you or blaming anything on you. What I am saying is this. If you think about how he feels, then you should see why he could not talk about this with you until now. Looking at the activities of Solaris toward other countries up until now, it has never gone beyond simply maintaining their own empire or self-preservation. And as you have seen, their military power is immense, so Sigard is probably thinking ahead. First, he was probably concentrating on taking care of the problems here on the continent of Ignis. Once things were settled here, it would give him a stronger foundation to deal with the Solaris later, which is a much better plan than rushing straight into a war he knew we could not win. Quite logical, really. Yeah, that was all made total sense then.
Sounds like you understand one another pretty well.
Well, it is not like we are newly acquainted, is it? And we had talked a lot about things up until we decided to escape from Solaris.
Speaking of that, why did you leave? That Ramses guy was supposed to be a star of hope or something, wasn't he?
Yes, I certainly thought so at first. But then I realized his way of thinking really was not that much changed from the previous system. Basically, the only difference was whether they stressed people's rank and class or their skill. The words had changed, but it was still no different from what Solaris itself had been doing until then. He had no intentions of bringing everyone a better way of life. Hi, Lego Vader in the chat! Welcome!
In other words, he's an elitist. I don't think I like him much either. So, Satan, do you think I can beat Gebler?
Why? Are you planning on fighting them? Why would you ask if you could beat somebody? Yes.
As long as they're working with the Shakan, there's no way around it. The way things are going, I'm sure we'll have to fight them sooner or later.
I suppose so, but even if we were to defeat the Gebler forces here, there is still Solaris to deal with. If we are not careful, it is possible that we may get involved in a longer war than that with Shakan. Do you not agree that continuing the way we have been going is rather hard on everyone? I think it is time we try to get help from a greater number of people.
So defeating Shakan's not going to get rid of the likes of Gebler. I know what you're trying to say. To vanquish Gebler, first gain thy throne, right?
Oh yeah, he's royalty. Yeah. You could put it that way. I feel like this game would be 80 hours shorter without the dialogue.
What do you mean, you could put it that way? But then again, maybe it is time we did something about that.
So am I supposed to go retake the throne now? I'm confused. I don't think this is the way I'm supposed to go. No. Wait, why am I on foot? What happened to my giant ship that I had? I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. Something in my gut tells me I'm supposed to do something back here still. Here's my ship. He's asleep. Nice. Since I can't go down inside, that leads me to believe that this is not where I'm meant to be. Wolf Angel in the chat. After playing this game for a while now, what are your views between Xenogears versus Final Fantasy? Okay, so to be fair to Xenogears, I have to compare this to a Final Fantasy game in the same time period, because the Final Fantasy games are also different. I can't compare it to Final Fantasy 15, I can't compare it to 10, I can't compare it to 3. I've got to really do a straight comparison to 7, which came out pretty much the exact same time as this, by most of the same people, like same overall company. I see a lot of similarities. I honestly, and I'm going to catch some flack for this, I'm sure, I like the combat system of Final Fantasy better, the turn-based, where you actually go into a menu, select your moves, strategize. Same thing that we see used in pretty much all the Final Fantasy games, same thing we see used in Pokemon. I'm a fan of that system. I think it works. I think it's a strong system. In terms of story, it's hard to say. You know, I can definitely see where there's inspiration drawn towards both. And I don't know that I can sit here and say that this is better than Final Fantasy. I think they both have their strengths. I think they both also suffer from the same issue that 90s JRPGs did, which is a lack of direction. It's not always clear what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. I like the three-dimensional map aspect of Xenogears. I like the character development we've had so far. But I would have to give combat system to Final Fantasy. The overworld looks very similar. I think this utilized a more three-dimensional matte painting process than we see in some of the Final Fantasy VII. But again, I can't compare this to the Final Fantasy VII remake either, because that's a whole different game altogether. I think they're both strong, and I can see why both have a very loyal following. I have read and been told by a lot of people that Xenogears is their favorite JRPG of all time. I guess there's nothing left for me to do here. It may be a cop-out answer, but I guess what I'm ultimately getting at is I think both games stand pretty strong on their own, and I think both are fairly equal in my eyes if you were to put them against each other. And once we get to once I get to where if I continue with the Xenosaga after Xenogears and do Xenosaga and Xenoblade, you know, I can rightly compare those to the appropriate Final Fantasy games too. You know, I can compare Xenosaga to Final Fantasy X. I can compare Xenogears to like Final Fantasy 13. But honestly, neither of these top the bill for my all-time favorite JRPG. But they're both good. They're both real good. I'm trying to get my jaw to pop for hours. Finally did. So, which game is my fave? My favorite does go to a lesser-known title, I think. Lost Odyssey, which was an Xbox exclusive game on the 360 initially. It is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. It was made so Lost Odyssey, it's 4 game discs, kind of like this. It's got a lot of dialogue, but it's all in cutscene form, actual cutscenes. It was made by the same writing team that was involved with Final Fantasy. It has the same composer as Final Fantasy. It was created by the same guy who co-created Final Fantasy to begin with. Basically, it's a Final Fantasy game that isn't a Final Fantasy game. But it's got a really original story. It has a very Final Fantasy inspired combat system that I think is better than anything I've seen in a Final Fantasy game. If anything, it's the closest I've seen to what's in like Final Fantasy 13. Because that would be the comparable game at the time. But everything about it's really, really original, and I think it's very strong. I have no idea where I'm going right now. I'm trying to look up a walkthrough because I'm totally lost. Let's see. Every walkthrough I found is so massive that it's yeah, I have no idea. I think whatever I'm supposed to do is here, but I go to my ship and I can't do anything, so I can't leave, which makes me feel like whatever I have left to do is here still. Okay, I see where I've got to go. Sorry about that, everybody, for sitting there watching me not have a clue what to do. But that goes back to my big beef with 90s era JRPGs. Okay, here we go. The owner said if we need anything for the young master, just ask for it.
I'm grateful. When I was a kid, I borrowed stuff from there and got in big trouble.
Borrowed. What did you take?
A toy boat. I think that's what it was. I put fireworks in it and let it float on the cathedral's lake. I always used to play Navy.
Such a dramatic character.
I'm not sure, but I think I pretended the lake was the open sea. And I was the fleet commander. Anyway, forget those old stories. We should get started.
Alright, here we go.
First, Gebler is the big problem.
Yes, Ramses is heading towards achieving his goals. That he is now the commander of Gebler is proof of that. A normal man could not progress so quickly through the country's organization. Now he is presently located here in Ignas. Frankly, the situation is not very favorable. We need to somehow find a weak spot and attack it with all our might.
First, let's just concentrate on Shakan.
Make up your mind of what you're doing.
Once he's out of the way and Ave is safe again, I think we can think about how to deal with Gebler. With our present strength, we should be able to hold off the Royal Guard forces. The problem is how to deal with Gebler in the meantime. They will most likely move at Shakan's request. They're not just gonna sit and watch quietly.
May I have a look there, please? In short, we want Gebler to leave for a while, at least until we are able to take back the royal capital, Bledavik. What are these names? Such wild names. These are the Gebler units currently in Ave, correct? I'm assuming it's the red. Or is it the yellow? Oh, the yellow. The Western Guards. The Royal Capital Defense Force. This is the craziest game of Tetris I've ever played. And units along the front line at the border with Kislev. There are 3 main groups. Very good. Each is made up of a mix of Gebler and Ave forces. Only 2 of these are very large. The Royal Capital's defense units and the Kislev border units. The Western Guard along Nissan's border are little more than a surveillance team. In order to recapture the Royal Capital, it will be necessary to draw these defense units away from Bledavik. We have some Kislev-made gears, correct?
Yeah, we captured some earlier.
What if we use those gears to make a raid on the Western Guards, here at the border with Nissan?
I see. We'll draw them out by making it look like Kislev is invading Ave.
But the problem is, will attacking the border guards be enough to set the center in motion? To be sure then, Nissan will just have to appear to align with Kislev. If they see it that way, they will certainly make a move.
You're saying that you intend to use Nissan as bait?
Doc. Shakan is very sensitive to Nissan's and Kislev's actions. If Nissan starts moving, he will probably leave it up to Gebler, but... Of course, I did not wish that from the beginning. But looking at the situation, we have to be willing to go that far. Eventually, I'm going to get to play the game.
First, we infiltrate into the capital. To take out Shakan, we'll have to meet up with our agents already in the city.
We are forgetting one thing. The frontline units along Kislev's border. Oh! The main strength of Ave's fleet is in the battleship Kfeinzel. It's been in service since the reign of the last king. Because of its firepower, the whole unit is nicknamed the Invincible Fleet. I recall yesterday's intelligence report said that the ship is near the border. Oh, Wolf Angel, I just saw your comment. Do I have a favorite soundtrack from a game? Lost Odyssey has a really good one. Pretty much anything put out by Nobuo Uematsu, who did most of the Final Fantasy soundtracks. Halo 2 soundtrack is really good. Mostly I like the Halo 2 theme song over the Halo 1 because my favorite guitarist, Steve Vai, did the guitar riff on it, and it sounds awesome. anything put out by Jeremy Soule is usually pretty good. He did Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, I believe. I like good orchestral stuff. I like good battle scene music. I think is important. I get a lot of inspiration for artwork and stuff from really good compound orchestral pieces. The Witcher 3 soundtrack is really good too. But they're all great for different reasons, you know? I think it's because they were all designed for different games and different styles of games, you know, where Oblivion and Skyrim and Morrowind are the adventure RPG, where it's, you know, more open world and more free exploration. You know, the music fits with that feeling of the wilderness and the openness of the world. A game like this, you know, that's military based, or Final Fantasy games in general that are more of a militaristic style, you know, playing soldiers and fighters and warriors and things. You know, the music tends to be more designed for going into battle, going into combat. The Witcher 3 has that great medieval sound, the dulcimers and the pipes and the kind of music you would expect here in a tavern from a bard, which I think is one of the reasons it's so like pleasant to just casually listen to. Is you feel like it's a place you can go and, you know, grab a grog of mead and you know, listen to the tales of the bards. So I like them for different reasons. It's too hard to pick just one. I'm 34 minutes into this and I've barely played the game. I'm not even paying attention to the dialogue at this point. I think we're splitting up and we're going to be going into combat. If you happen to be in the chat, tell me some of your game soundtracks that you love. And even if you don't know who the composer is, that's okay. Tell me what game. You know, if you had to pick a soundtrack and just listen to it for whatever reason, pick a reason. It's going to the gym, working on whatever. What are some soundtracks that stand out to you? Okay. So I was able to gather that we are using gears, but I believe I've already upgraded my gears as much as I'm going to be able to. Wolf Angel says, I like the Halo soundtrack. Some of the music from Sea of Thieves is good. The DM for my D&D group plays a lot of Final Fantasy music during the sessions. I use music typically from the Witcher soundtracks and Lord of the Rings soundtracks, as far as what I use during my D&D sessions. I honestly, this may be sacrilegious to some, but I actually like the Oblivion soundtrack better than Skyrim, so I use that one too. The music from Sea of Thieves is great because you've got the shanty pirate feel and again that sense of adventure that calls you. I think that's important. The right game. Okay. I should save. All right, here we go. So apparently we have to secure Bart the throne. Marriage is the best friendship. Apparently, Bart's got a love interest, or they're going to be setting up. This is all foreshadowing for love interest later, I'm sure. If they're doing any kind of good writing, they're using the Chekhov's gun principle. And I've talked about this on other things before, but Chekhov's gun is basically it was a writer, Russian writer, 19th century, who had a philosophy when writing that if you're writing a story and you write about a gun being on the wall, in chapter 1, by chapter 3 that gun had better go off. Basically, don't put anything in the story that isn't necessary to further the story. Don't have useless elements. And so a lot of stuff, it's like, oh, that's cute, that's cheeky, but I always look at things as like, oh, well, that's definitive foreshadowing. That's definitive. If that, I get disappointed whenever they put something in the game that's absolutely pointless, because that, to me, is bad writing, from my point of view, because it violates the Chekhov's gun principle. One of the reasons, and I'm getting on a tangent right now, but why not? It's more interesting to me than the actual dialogue of the game at the moment, because it's just, we know what we're doing here. We're breaking up. We're trying to get just let's hurry up here. One of the reasons I love writing comic books is because of the style of writing. Nothing in a comic book should be considered unnecessary. You only put as much in a panel on a comic book to tell as much of the story as needed. There's no reason to go over detailed, because you'll actually lose. You put too many details in, too many really defined details into a comic book panel that's 2 inch by 2.5 inch. You lose and take away from the story that you're telling. I used to teach a little bit, talk to different people. I used to work for a publishing company at one point, and I talked about with them several people who were interested in doing comic books about how to write and illustrate your own graphic novel work. And basically what was taught to me was that you take the story, okay, with no pictures, and you take the pictures with no words, and when you put them together in the comic book, the words and the pictures should tell the same story without each other. So what you read should be exactly what you see in the panel. They should connect. So that if somebody only saw the panels and couldn't read, they could still figure out and extrapolate what the story is. Or if somebody were just reading the manuscript, they would be able to visualize and see it in the picture. They should match. And when your dialogue and your text and everything match the artwork, and it's a cohesive flow that triggers the brain on multiple levels, because what they're reading and what they're seeing are both being visually interpreted the same way. So it's that same Chekhov's gun principle. Nothing should be unnecessarily inserted. It's a long random tangent. I apologize to anybody who didn't care. Not really, because it's my stream, and I'll talk about what I want to talk about. One of the hardest things I've found, because I've illustrated a couple children's novels, or I shouldn't say children's novels, children's books, like storybooks. Sometimes the hardest thing is, I'll get the manuscript from the writer for a 12-page, 15-page children's book, and the manuscript is this thick. And it's like, I can't use all of this dialogue. And a lot of writers are not artists, and a lot of artists are not writers. And so I will read the manuscript and interpret it so different from what the author has envisioned for their children's novel. And sometimes you can get that struggle between the artist and the author of how something should look. And I'm not doing this to diss either party, because I've had it both ways where, the writer has said, no, it should be this. And I disagree, but I give the writer what they want. And you know what? The writer was right. that did end up looking better. They had a good vision with that. And there's other times where the writer comes to me and says, I want this, and you give them exactly what they ask for, and everybody pretty much agrees at the end of it that no, that was not the way that should have gone. I did a book cover once, and the author of the book wanted 17 different characters from the text. It wasn't a comic book. It was a novel. He wanted 17 different characters from the novel on the cover. And I said, I really don't think that's a good idea. Your cover, it's a novel, so your cover is 9x6 or smaller, 4x6 maybe. Getting that many characters on a page that small, you're going to lose the detail. You're going to lose the story. No. It's got to have all of them. Okay. So I did it. And he hated it. And there's other times, like I said, there's other times where I will have an idea for how I think something should look, and the writer comes back and says, just try it this way. Can you try it like this? And I do, and we both end up going, that was the better way it goes. So an ideal relationship between the writer and the artist is one where you can have that communication, but when I'm usually the artist, I have to be honest, I get a little nitpicky sometimes about I don't tell you how to write, don't tell me how to be an artist, but usually it's fine. It's just one of those things. But in an ideal situation, you've got that good communication. But to anybody who might be watching this, that might be wanting to be a writer or an illustrator, bear in mind, not everybody is so easy to work with. It's just the way it goes. I will also say, unless you work for a major brand publishing company, do not expect to get rich doing book covers. And my professional advice, as somebody who no longer works for a publishing company, do not sign a contract for a percentage of residual sales if the book is independently published. Because I think my residual sales for the work I put in has been less than $5. So I've been told the doctor is funny and she doesn't disappoint. Finally, tomorrow is the day for the blood-blowing, flesh-falling... No, I mean the blood-boiling, flesh-dancing battle to recapture the capital. That's funny. No, the best arrangements I have found with my artwork is we agree on a price for the artwork, and that's it. And then you, the author, get to keep all of your residuals. I don't want royalties. You get to keep it all. I will take my money first for what I do. I say that, but if Scholastic called me, or like Image Comics or Marvel, I would absolutely be like, yeah, I'll take some royalty on that, Just depends on the contract, I guess. So he's having second thoughts on being king. Oh, nice heart to heart here on top of the ship. Actually really bold of a video game in the late 90s to show two characters in bed together like that. I mean, nothing intimate per se, but just to show a male and female characters sleeping next to each other in a video game in 1998 was actually a really big deal. Because we were still, I think the ESRB rating system was out at this point, but yeah, it was a lot of stuff, you know, was heavily censored once the ESRB system first came out in the mid 90s. It's a very interesting ship. I like it because it's red. Is this a nightmare or is he remembering something? Nightmare. They put him in a Speedo. $32-bit graphics. And they put him in a Speedo. Graph. So confused. I like how there's a dolphin at the helm. Sandwell. Transmission. Yep, if people were actually in the military, they wouldn't actually talk like this because I've one of the most intimidating women I've ever known was an Army First Sergeant. First Sergeant Aletha Calloway. Career Army, 35 years plus. Husband, career Army. And she was one of my ROTC instructors my freshman year. Army ROTC. And this woman took nothing from nobody. She was this old school, very old school lady. I mean, she didn't carry the rank of officer, so you didn't typically address her as sir or ma'am. But out of uniform, it was ma'am. And she demanded that ma'am be how you address her. She was a very, very intimidating presence. She would oh, one of these guys again. She would foster problem teenagers and turn them into like respectable adults that were ready to go out into the world and be like functioning human beings when they were, you know, problem kids with rap sheets and all kinds of issues. Oh yeah, she was tough. And to this day, I still have so much love for her because she like I said, career Army. So there was one day, I forget what somebody did, but military fashion, you know, if one of you fails, you fail as a unit. So it was one particular day where, for whatever reason, we all got dropped for push-ups, and somebody in our group was being really cocky. He was like football team and wrestling, and he was a really fit kid, and like an idiot challenged this career Army woman, probably in her mid-50s at the time. And I respectfully say that. And challenged her to a push-up competition. Well, naturally, she made us all drop because he was being a jerk. And she said that if he beat her in a push-up competition, that she'd never make any of us do push-ups ever again. Whole rest of the year. She beat him by about 35. And I think that's just because she realized she had won at that point and didn't feel the need to go on anymore. But when he wore out and his arms gave out, she kept going. Right there in the classroom. And made every one of us look bad. She was tough. And because this was, school, she couldn't, physically discipline us in any way, obviously, because, that wasn't allowed. So she got really creative. So if you did something, push-ups were actually allowed because ROTC countered as like a gym class kind of a thing. So she could get away with making you do push-ups. But she had these bricks, red bricks, that she had wrapped in tape, green duct tape, Army green duct tape. And she would make you stand with your arms out, one in each hand. And make you just stand there. You couldn't drop your hands. It didn't hurt you, but it punished you. Oh, was it punishment? She'd make you stay there. It was the equivalent to putting the kid in the corner, making him face the wall wearing a dunce hat, right? And oh yeah, she was so creative. She was something else. And I've stayed in touch with her off and on for years. So yeah, it cracks me up whenever I see, in games or anything, where like a female military officer is questioned or whatever because she's a woman, because the most powerful, one of the most intimidating military people I've ever known in my life was a woman. And she, to this day, she's long retired, To this day, I don't think I could ever address her as anything other than ma'am or first sergeant. I just couldn't do it. Come on. I should probably be easier if I turn the camera. I was never good with pull, chin-ups, or push-ups. Pull-ups I had a hard time with. Because my arms are ridiculously long. I'm extremely tall. So number one, a lot of pull-up bars were either really tall for me or really short for me, so it was harder to get the correct posture for me until I learned later. But also my arms were very, very long, so I felt like I had so much longer to pull my whole body up than other kids. Push-ups, it depended on the push-up. I did a lot of push-ups with martial arts. When I studied Kung Fu, Praying Mantis, we did fingertip push-ups like this. And it would build up your arms, your grip. So it depended on the style of push-up. I never got into doing the diamond ones, and I never got into doing one-handed. I never quite had the strength to do those, right, I guess, would be the term. In high school, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just how I was built at the time, knuckle push-ups were easier for me to do than regular flat hand. It may have just been the position of the arm that changed it. Mile, my senior year, I was just under a 7-minute mile, which was good for me because I was happy with it because I wasn't even somebody who ran track. But as part of the physical fitness exam of the U.S. Armed Forces, that was we had to do our share of physical stuff as part of our grade in class. Same like I had to take part of being in. Newsflash, if you do really well on the ASVAB, you get called non-stop by recruiters for years. These jumps are very awkward to do. It's taking me a few turns to charge up my fuel. What is this? There we go. Okay, that's all tuned up. Okay, cool. I'm not trying to talk to you. All right. Okay then. Am I gonna have to fight them all? Apparently. Running the Gauntlet of Gears. I feel like that would be a good name for a comic book. These guys don't seem too bad. Of course, now that I say that, knock on wood, it's about to get really interesting, I'm sure. Let's see who's next. It's like 5 of them. The drive. Holy crooked camera angle, Batman. This is so dramatic. It's a really painful way that shifts to white. She was a test subject for some experimental drug called Drive. Very bizarre. Well, all right then. They're little. There's hearts when she hits him. Quit trying to be so. And suddenly she gains their respect. Because now she's, I guess, super powerful and can do cool stuff. We are the chosen people. So I'm taking bets now that she ends up becoming a love interest. That's what I get for opening my mouth. Saying that this was all pretty easy so far. Regardless of the outcome of this battle, I'm going to take a brief break when it's over. Oh, good thing we saved right before that. Well, I tell you what, we're right here at the hour-and-a-half mark. Hey, Tony, welcome to the chat. Good to see you, buddy. I'm actually going to take a brief 1 to 2 minute break. I'm going to get some water. And then we're going to come right back and we're going to try to beat this again. If you know what, a good use of your time during that break would be going over to geeknewsnow.net and check out some of the articles that we have over there. You can also type in my name, spelled D-E-V-I-N, and you will find a whole bunch of articles that I've written. So go check them out. I might be slightly biased. You can also go on our Facebook page, Geek News Now. And you found us on Twitch already, GNN_gaming. So be sure to hit that follow and subscribe button because that is how we keep doing what we do. I'm going to take a brief break. I will be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. I will see you soon. And we're back. I just wanted to get something to drink. All right, so we're going to try this again. Let's see something. I'm going to equip that. I'm going to equip that. Okay. Of course, I get into a battle right here. Oh, look, nice people talking in the chat. Tony, Wolf Angel, Tony. Alright, let's see if I get my butt kicked again. Fortunately, there's no way to skip all of the dialogue, so I'm just going to go through it as quick as I can. Oh, that's funny. My green cup on my green screen is invisible. That amuses me greatly. I did not think that through when I grabbed it. Hey, look, there's a cup-shaped hole in my chest. Fun with green screens. If I hold it, yep. Note to self, don't grab a green cup from my stream. Didn't even think it through. Yes, I have more than one cup of drink in front of me. am a magician, so it makes sense I'd make myself disappear. You are correct, Wolf Angel. Shh, don't go giving away how I do it. Don't you know it's all camera tricks? Alright, so now we gotta go through all this again. And while that's happening, I'm gonna look up and see if there is a better way to do this. I don't know if it'll give me a chance to do this. If I lose this, I saw the solution to how to do it. Apparently, super easy. Well, okay then. Apparently she's detoxing from a terrible drug high. torture on my voice to do some of these for hours on end. Most dialogue is not recorded in a single session with voiceover. Sometimes, but not always. Honestly, the hardest part is jumping between the voices. Definitely got to make sure we save after that. back on the Yggdrasil. I guess he dropped and broke a cup. At the rate we've been going, after, probably by the time I get, not this save point, but the next save point, I will probably be at the end of my stream. I have a feeling that we're coming up on the end of, or at least a big conclusion point to Bart's story. I mean, that is kind of what we're doing here. We're trying to get him the throne back. He looks like the original ancient one from the comic, from the Doctor Strange comics. It's an ambush! Oh no! An ambush inside of the castle that we're trying to storm! Is she gonna leave him to get slaughtered? The butler to save the day. This is not good. Oh, Mason with the secrets. He just pulled some like ninja warrior moves to get out of there. Everybody's just staring like, okay. All right. I know I just saved a minute ago, but I'm saving again because I don't want to go through the dialogue again should something happen. Are those gray things supposed to be the border fleet? I'm confused. All right, well, combat it is. That's how we're gonna play it. Alright, fine. I'm sure speedrunners have probably found a way through this that's wicked fast. was wondering if I get to lay the smackdown on this thing. Man, that last mech battle was way harder than that. Maybe he'll go down with the ship with some honor. Oh, not over yet. Is he about to get, is Maitreya about to get blown away? Okay. Those aren't working. He's trying to hit me with my own guys. That was close. Secret power. Dost thou desire? Oh boy. Are we seriously doing another flashback right now? So Sigurd and Ramesses knew each other. The plot thickens like concrete. Trey is going to stay behind and die accordingly. We're going to battle against them. here we go. Mysterious gear. A couple narcissistic jerks. Punch the arm off. They remove the head? Or is it just a graphical thing? I feel like this is not going to go well. It doesn't matter what I do. Dude. Fatality. 19,000 damage. Basically 20,000 damage right there. 19,998. He jumped it and he's gonna land on him. That's one way to do it. Seriously? I feel like something tragic's about to happen. Yeah, we're gonna save. Alright, well, I don't know when my next save point's gonna be, and will probably be before the end of my stream. So I'm going to save here, and I'm going to end my stream here, since save points are few and far between sometimes. I want to thank everybody who has been in the chat this evening, everybody who has stopped by to say hello, and who's been watching all this time. And I will be back on Thursday to do the Pokemon stream. So come back, that is Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be doing Xenogears next Tuesday as well from 9 p.m. to around midnight Eastern Standard Time. So once again, go on over to geeknewsnow.net and check out the articles and everything we have going on over there. Check out our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook page. Our Facebook page has some awesome contests and giveaways going on. You should definitely go check out. So once again, thank you everybody who's been watching tonight, and I will see you next time right here on Twitch Gaming, GNN Gaming. Thank you.